G'day, this is Wet Weather Captain Australia. I don't know if you can tell, this is my high-vis version of the uniform. Fabric's a little bit bluey and it's treated to resist water. So I just got up from, well, actually an hour ago. It took me a while to locate and pack all my gear. And I've lost my sunglasses. What's going on? I'll give you a quick look at. I slept. Was way back down there on the side of the road. You can see a little snaggle of bushes and scrub and whatnot. I just hastily bundled in there when a storm hit last night as I was walking along. Foolish old man. I've got to get better with the planning. The slow descent into madness has already begun too. I find myself talking to myself, like I've got this hood, put it on my head, but as I do it, I'm like saying to myself, oh yeah, let's get this bad boy on. And just sort of talking to myself in the same way as if I was streaming, but I'm not streaming. So, yep, that started. So today I am on the way into, I don't know if I can show you anything much interesting to see, really. I'm in northern New South Wales. I'm on my way to a town called Kingscliff. I'm going to push south from there. I'll see how much distance I can make today, maybe. Yesterday was constant stopping. And that's great. I'm not going to worry too much about where I am and how long it's taking. I'm just going to push forward. What the hell? Sorry. There are people watching. Hello, people watching. This hour of the morning, what are you doing? Should be doing Tai Chi or sleeping, I guess. Maybe I should start doing a bit of that. Morning meditation. Have a chat, a proper chat. So I just wanted to update you on my night because I couldn't stream last night. It was just too vulnerable a place. So it was impolitely near people's homes. Morning. Yeah, good morning to you, mate. Yeah, cheers. But it was also on Discovery in the morning when I could see more clearly. There were bottles and stuff around as well, so people have huddled in there drinking before. So, I just like to be way out of the way. And, I think the risks are lower. The risks when you're not in an urban centre, it's snakes, it's falling branches, that sort of thing, ticks and bugs. But here it's more about exposure, the vulnerability to interference from people, that sort of thing. I'm not afraid of that as such, but, I don't cherish it either. So, walking along, heading for Kingscliff, I feel great. So the thing, by the way, part of this is about personal healing, and I don't know what is the most important or interesting dimension to the people who are curious enough to watch, and I love you for watching, thank you. Whether it's my own healing component, the fact that I'm trying to do something noble, great for a charity to help, vulnerable, precious people who don't deserve that adversity, or the fact that in trying to discover things in myself and fix parts of myself, I also want to help broken people to see that it's possible. You know what I mean? So I don't know which part is the most interesting. There's also just the beautiful country, the adventure. Maybe it's that. But as to my personal quest, like the healing component, it is going marvelously, I think. But for that slow decline into madness, I think I've, even just 4 days in, I've processed some leftover grief that I just had tucked away in little corners of me. So I've had a good cry while I was walking along the beach because it was just so wonderful. The sensory feeling of it, the ocean, the rays of the sun through the clouds, great. And the adversity, the difficulty is great too. So I wasn't comfortable last night, even with Murray's mother's wonderful blanket. It was just a too hasty camp. It was after dark. It was raining. But I'm okay. I'm good. And I wake up this morning. First thing I have to do is walk up a hill. And then I'm hungry. Like, I feel like real hunger. And I'm carrying some food that I bought last night but didn't eat. So I'm going to, head up somewhere on the side of the road and gobble down some chow mein. I think it's Singapore noodles. Anyway, that's a way to start a day. And, that sensation when you're stuck in the day-to-day cage of suffering, you don't see the good things in your life. Like, you've got people around you who are great, or you've got plenty of food, You might have your Xbox, whatever it is. You've got things in your life that nourish you, but that broken little part still remains a broken little part. So I think when I get out of this, I'm going to be able to take so much more joy in everything. Like I'm using my body in ways that I haven't had to in years, bending and moving around. No more cramps or anything like that, so I think we're all good. I do need to take my thyroid medicine though before I eat, so do remember that, Simon. Um, but yeah, it's the feeling of hunger. You know, when you've got a problem that's like more cerebral, part of this whole idea of taking a walk and taking a pilgrimage is pulling it back to the basics. I got pain in my shoulders. I'm hungry. I need a bath. You know, and that reminds you of your underlying just basic humanity. Because once you recognize that, I'm just a person. My suffering is temporary. I'm like everybody else. Everybody else goes through the things I do. We can share and help each other. There's this chain of realizations. And when you realize, I'm just a human, it's not some forever, you know, existential cage I can never escape from. It's all just the day-to-day experience of living, and I can get past this. You open this like mental narrative, this chain of logic that just starts to expand your hope a little bit. Because for me, and it might make me sound completely crazy, and that's okay. I say it in case it's something that someone can relate to. For me, that cage of suffering was like paralyzing, just like, and not completely, but in a way that kind of numbs you and your ability to counteract it. So I tried hard, really hard. We went on massive road trips through to Uluru, rented camper vans, and I was with my family and loving them. Trying to have fun every day. But underneath it all, when you scratch and dig, you find this core of grief, despair, anger, fear that and not for me, but fear that I'd be dead and my children, what happens to them? How would my wife manage dealing with those three guys? Would her heart, how would she rally? And would her broken heart then make it, less of a nurturing environment for the boys? And all of these things just bouncing around, ping pong, ping pong, ping pong, ping pong, amplifying that little germ, that little stain that's in there that's corrupting and contaminating everything else. So I think if you've got a problem like that you can't beat, try it. Try stripping everything way back, like take a week out. Don't do what I'm doing. I'm an idiot, but you take a week, you think of a place that is for you either challenging or serene, and you go there with the bare minimum that you need to sort yourself out and live, and just recalibrate everything. It's like a hard reset. So for me, this is an 80-day or more, probably. No, look, if I get a good pace going, I can be in Melbourne in, 2 months? Yeah, so I'd say 70 days, maybe. Let's see. I feel strong now. I've come through I'm starting to find my stride, and that's good because I can start to get better at talking to you now and let go of that initial kind of birthing stuff. I need to get my phone screen fixed, and I need to get new glasses, and I'll get new reading glasses as well. It's cracked up like a spider, so if anybody makes any comments, I'll struggle with them, sorry. But, yeah, the whole, for me, that needs to be a big process because I was messed up in a big way. But there might be people just dealing with, I met a guy yesterday he's got an anxiety, like a generalized anxiety that hit him after being treated for his own cancer. And otherwise, yeah, mate, very strong. Well, his wife was telling him how strong he was, and he had a look in his eyes, like a flinching look, actually. So his wife was saying, oh, yeah, he's had no problems. He's been really strong after his cancer, except for this little anxiety issue. And he's like, oh, yeah, I've been getting anxiety, just weird. I don't even know what's caused it. So it's not like a claustrophobia thing. There's no specific trigger that he's recognized, but you could tell underneath it there's like this boil of, the same sort of stuff that I'm letting go of right now. Just accumulated grief and fear and all of the rest. And so I talk about it. Why am I laughing? It's not funny. There's nothing funny about it, but I shit. You know what comes in when you get rid of that garbage? Joy. It makes room for all the other joy in your life. I feel so great right now. It's lovely. And it's not mental illness. You're not going to see in 4 days of like a bipolar Captain Australia. This is not bipolar euphoria, or if that's a thing. Oh God, I just feel so good, you know. Anyway, so yeah, heading for Kingscliff, and I'm sorry for my old man rambles. This mask is too tight. The eye holes are too small, so I might need to remedy that a little bit. And I'll need to get my glasses and the screen fixed. I bought some. It's in my utility belt. Yay, a sewing kit, so I can fix my flag up. It started to unravel. So as we go, we're finding and dealing with problems on the way, Captain Australia. And I owe you a bunch of these daily donor dares of doom too. So I acknowledge that. Some of them I'm not looking forward to. So I am, despite all of this stuff, quite a shy, sort of a reserved person. And one of them, I've got to go into a pub and demand my free superhero beer. Yes, can I have a beer, please? Sure, that'll be $5. No, mate, that'll be free. I'm a superhero. So they haven't explicitly said how it's got to go, but it's got to be something like that. So that is going to be iffy. And there's a bunch of others. Some involve singing. And that's the way it's gonna be, little darling. You'll be riding on the horses, yeah, yeah. Oh, Jesus. Walking backwards for an hour. So I will jump on them, I will execute them, and anybody else who makes a daily dare of doom, I promise you, as long as I don't have 1,000 of them and there's just not physically the time to work through it, as I find my groove every day, I'm going to be pushing these things out, because you made it. Good on you. You made a donation to a wonderful charity. I owe it to you. So thank you for supervillaining up. If anybody has made a daily donor dare of doom, I'm going to get stuck in. Anyway, it's a lovely morning. It's quite early. So let's have a... I'm going down here. There's a bridge and some nice little scenery. We're going to see the ocean around the corner. And I'll get better at like taking videos and photo of that stuff, because I'm going to start to get like in the old days they called it Indian pace, because like you know, the Native American Indians, the tribal warriors, they would cover so much more ground than like, you know, the white cavalrymen and all of the rest who were like doing forced marches, and their method was actually like run, walk, rest, run, rest, run, walk, rest, and by mixing it up, their body was yeah, I can't tell you about the exercise physiology of it, the science of it, but it was a natural thing, an effective thing, and in a day they can cover so much more ground. And that style works great for what I want to do, because you know, I want to make bursts of progress, but then I want to stop and smell the coffee and meet people and talk and share it with you. So I don't want to be doing what I have been doing, which is like pushing towards an objective. When you're going slow, you want to cover a long distance, and then you walk for 18 hours, it's absurd. And you're risking all of these blisters and all of this stuff. So that's a silly approach, and sort of done with that. I think now we're going to start finding the groove. This is a nice big bridge. So I guess if there was a horrible storm, I could have retreated here. Yes, I'm really starting to enjoy the things that I see, even just mundane sort of scenery too. Sorry, I'll show you the kinds of things I'm looking at. One sec. So this is... Whoops. No, I don't want to type something. Oh, sorry, someone's got a comment. What does that say? Oh, Blair. Morning, Simon. How is the... Hope it's going well. Oh, thank you. Yeah, it's more than well. Lovely. Like, I feel that, at least for my own personal agenda, things are going wonderfully. So, yeah, this is just the norm. Just, you know, trees and rocks and stuff that in your day-to-day life you don't necessarily see them, especially if you live in the area. But around the corner, then I'll see the ocean, just up here. I will need to check and make sure I'm going in the right direction, Up here somewhere there's a bridge across the King's Cliff, and I don't know if there's pedestrian access, so I'm going to have to figure that out. But that's part of it too. You know, just learning to think again. Just, you know, live in your body and all of that.